And we want to welcome back our friend Lee Richardson to the program. She is a brain health coach, and she is the founder and clinical director at the Brain Performance Center in Dallas. Good morning, Lee. How are you?
Good morning. I am great. Thank you so much.
You bet. Well, Lee, there was a recent article in the Wall Street Journal talking about a rise in workplace suicides, and this has put companies out on the front lines of the mental health crisis. What are you hearing?
Well, that's what I'm hearing when I look at the numbers, for sure. There has been a 30% increase in suicides between 2000 and 2018, and I'm amazed that by 2020, suicide is the second leading cause of death for the age of 10 to 34, and fifth leading cause of death for 35 to 54. So it's touching everyone.
It really is, and it's these are a lot of them are office professional jobs. Like they mention a software engineer at Google, and then an airport worker in San Antonio, and then there was one that I just read about someone jumping from a 33-story building. This reminds me of the crash in 1929. What's going on?
Well, I think people are just experiencing higher levels of depression and anxiety. There's so much fear. There's so much uncertainty in our world today. Just when I think we all started to think that COVID was a thing of the past, bam, it's back. You're right. And, that keeps us all on edge. And I think that there's not enough, the work doesn't make people unhappy, but the workplace does. There's a lot of stress in the workplace. And I think that we've got to put the focus on the prevention. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to experience some depression or some anxiety. And I think that when that's recognized, people are more comfortable with what's going on within themselves, and they don't feel as hopeless. They don't feel as desperate.
Well, and you are a brain health coach, so I imagine you know a few of the signs that should set off alarms for managers or coworkers that they might see and look for to recognize that someone's in trouble.
Absolutely. And, it's a change of behavior. If they're isolating, if they're not engaging the way they used to, if they're not participating. And it comes to having a conversation. And that's a really hard conversation to have with someone that works for you or with you. And I think that's where the training is needed, is we need to train our managers on how to have those conversations. I always say there's national guidelines for workplace suicide prevention, and there's recommended practices. Google that, national guidelines for workplace suicide prevention. And there are recommended practices, and just be aware of them. I mean, we've got to change our headset. To me, a brain health checkup should be just like a flu shot.
Oh, that's a good idea. What does that entail?
A brain health checkup?
Yes.
Well, I think, it's looking at the Brain Performance Center, we actually stick a cap on your head and we record 20 minutes worth of data, and we'll go through it and just see, how the brain is sharing information. What's the timing like? How's the power being distributed? We look at neuroplasticity. But, and I know not everybody has that option or that view. But if you're married, or if you're a partner with someone, or you're a coworker and you're concerned, talk to them. Let them know that you care, and let them know why. I've seen that you used to love to come out to lunch with us on Fridays. When was the last time you came? You used to be willing to stay late and help us get over the line, and you just don't seem to have the energy to do that anymore. Are you okay? because letting people, number one, letting people know that you notice, lets them know that you care. And it makes them feel like they're, and encouraging them that, if you need help, get it. If you need someone to help you get to that point, because there's always the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and you can text 741-741. So, there's ways to reach out and get help. But one of the big problems is people don't know about them. And we've always thought, that that's a personal matter, or that's a medical matter. And, we don't know what to do. And we need to shift our perspective. That's a human behavior issue. It's one that we care about.
Do you think that human resources and such like that in companies should devote a little bit of their time to this issue and to show managers and or coworkers how to spot something like this?
Absolutely, I do, because it's employee well-being, and HR is involved in bonus programs and recognition programs, so certainly they should be involved in employee well-being.
And you were initially focused on organizational behavior in your earlier part of your career, correct?
In my first life, yes. That's correct.
And so what does that mean? What did you look at there?
Well, we looked at how people were performing, and did they have the tools that they needed? Did they have the resources? Were they in the right role? Did they understand what their job was? Clarity does amazing things, and as does realistic expectations. And sometimes we're the ones that set the unrealistic expectations. I know I certainly have set them for myself before, and then when I don't hit them, I get a little disappointed, and I have to kind of do a reality check.
Right.
But I think we all do, because we all want to do our best. And I think that helping people understand what their job is, making sure that they have the clarity to do it, and just working with managers. There's some hard conversations around mental health. And if you've personally never experienced it, then you don't know how to have those conversations. And it's very easy it is if you have the knowledge, to do some role playing and demonstrate, because empathy is so important. And that's something that is just as much as firmness is in the workplace. We've also got to be empathetic.
How do managers or people that own businesses, you just kind of have to, I think you just have to make sure that you have resources available. But isn't it a little bit of a weird little two-edged sword if you confront them about you think something's wrong and you may be the cause of it? If you make things available and they don't do it and you have to do something later, I've seen where people have come back and said, you knew I had a problem and you didn't get me help. You're responsible for why you can't release me till you knew I needed this problem addressed and you didn't do it. So I'm suing you.
Well, you make some really good points. It is a very sensitive subject, and it's how you handle it. And that's why I think that people do need training, and they need to understand, because, I may say something to you, and you may totally interpret it the way that I meant it. I may say something to you, and you may walk away saying, what was she talking about?
Yeah.
So that information processing, that communication. And so I think that that's why people need to be trained. They need to understand how to say, and I think if you always come from a point of caring and and I have found specific examples, like earlier in our conversation, you used to go out to lunch. Now you don't want to do that. You used to, stay a little bit late. Now you don't have the energy. and not critiquing, but sharing.
Well, we have been talking to our friend Lee Richardson, and she is a licensed professional counselor and founder and clinical director of the Brain Performance Center. She's also the author of a book, Turn Your Brain On to Get Your Game On. And Lee, thank you as always for being with us. Remind our listeners how to get in touch and how to buy your book.
The book is on Amazon. And you can get in touch. You can go to the brainperformancecenter.com, the good old-fashioned webpage, and there's a Contact Us button. And I'm always happy to chat for 20 minutes with anybody that has questions about brain health. And, of course, we're on Facebook and Instagram.
All right. Lee Richardson, thank you so much.